So you're here to learn more about the newest operator, Liino. She's adorable, she's also stupidly strong, and we'll be going through her kit, builds, teams, and combos in today's video. Use the timestamps for convenience, and with that said, let's start. To begin with a summary, Liino is an electric element team-wide buffer slash healer. She's actually best in nature and electric teams right now because her ultimate is able to provide very strong electric and nature amp. She also has a constant 10% attack buff for her whole team, so like it or not, she will be buffing you one way or another. Another big part of her kit will be her healing, which is also the most effective in game since she wouldn't require you to pick up dollies or get hit in the first place. Just have to use your skills and ults and you'll heal automatically. She has more utilities like healing increase and reduce damage taken to her kit, all while costing very low SP to use, making her an incredibly well-rounded character that I will actually recommend as a must pull for any accounts, or at least the closest thing to a must pull character that you're gonna see. Now then, let's dive deeper into her kit, which isn't too complicated. To start with her skill, Liino will deal damage and enter her vocalist stance. Liino will then attack enemies periodically if they are nearby, and when Liino is in this vocalist stance, she grants the whole team 10% attack boost at max upgrade. Now if you're within Liino's range of this skill, you'll also get continuous HP treatment to operators within the range. This stance will last for a whopping 60 seconds, and it only costs 25 SP to use. The level of value obtained from this is pretty much unfair. You have no reason to not use this and keep it up as long as you can if Liino's on your team. You can check the duration left for this stance when you look at the music note on her icon, but I personally like to look at her skill icon. You can see like an outer ring that will slowly decrease as time go by, which explains the duration left you have. But honestly though, if you play a smooth rotation, you'll probably not see yourself running out that much. Now then, to take a look at her ultimate. Upon usage, Liino grants HP treatment to the whole team. She also replaces her vocalist stance with a Cosmo voice stance. She also deals damage and trigger a more powerful hit as well that also forcibly apply electrification to enemies within the large range of this attack. The Cosmo voice stance is basically an enhanced stance which buffs your whole team with electric amp and nature amp, both of which can go up to 60% based on the amount of will attribute you have. This stance also buffs your whole team with a 10% attack buff, which is the same as battle skill, so it's pretty much just always gonna be there. This stance has a 15-second duration, which again you can see how long there is based on the music note or based on the skill icon. During its duration, Liino also deals damage in AoE periodically while grants a continuous HP treatment to allies within the AoE. She'll deal a burst of damage and provide a burst of healing as well when the stance ends. Liino will actually return to her normal state once this stance ends, so you'll want to start from her battle skill again right after her ultimate. This ultimate is exactly why Liino is the best team buffer for electric teams like Zhuang, Fangyi, or nature teams like Arcane. It's because of that very valuable amp. To take a look at her combo skill now though, this one's simpler. You trigger it while vocalist stance is active, and if an art's reaction is consumed or applied on an enemy. Upon usage of this combo skill, Liino will deal damage and grant HP treatment to the control operator while gaining additional ult energy herself. It does a lot, but considering Liino herself can trigger this with her own electrification, it tends to be a very easy combo to trigger. Plus, with most arts teams, you're going to have some sort of arts reaction being consumed or inflicted for sure. Now, if you look at Liino's second talent, after you cast this combo skill of Liino's, using a battle skill of an electric or nature operator will return 10 SP. It's not a lot, but yes, she even has a minor SP return effect with this. Liino's first talent though, however, is also strong, where Liino will provide 20% healing bonus and 20% reduced damage taken during any of her stances for allies within its area of effect. You don't really have to always be too afraid of running out of her area and such, because it's just impossible to fully control your team and all of the members to always be within it for every single situation, but it's still just good that it's even there. From her whole kit, we can pretty much understand Liino's role. Liino's role is the healer slash buffer role that characters like Ardelia is currently playing as. She will shine in especially the Zhuang electric team or Arcane nature team, plus whoever it is from these two elements that could get released in the future. Again, it's mainly thanks to her strong amp for these two elements. She'll be usable in any team that scales off attack with her constant 10% attack buff, with the teams that suits her the least being physical teams. But in harder stages, you might just want to consider her as your dedicated healer since her healing is automatic all the way. You don't have to force yourself to pick something up or, you know, play a certain way, get hit. There's nothing like that. You just play her as it is, use her skills and her ults, enjoy all the buffs while being healed, then rinse and repeat. Insanely easy and effective. More on her teams and combos later though. Now to look at her builds. To start with her weapon, her best option is her signature obviously, and for a pretty decent margin considering the main attribute increase for its third effect. You see, Liino's nature and electric amps are based off of her will attribute, so having the main main attribute increase means she gets more will, which is a really good help for getting more apps. Now if you don't want to go for the signature though, alternatively it will be the battle pass weapon Golden Age. You can expect this weapon to be around 15% worse for buffing allies since it doesn't give you that main attribute bonus, but it does give you more healing efficiency, which helps with survival, so it's not even that bad. Anything else unfortunately won't be working too well, but if you're out of options, any weapon that gets you will attribute as its stats will do. You don't need her signature weapon for it to function, she already works more than adequately, but if you want to push her numerical ceilings, then yes, you will want that signature. As for her gears now, you'll be looking at the classic Eternal Zero Knight set. You'd also use a Link Slab for the main attribute bonus. This will be a more buff oriented build, which focuses more on energy cycle and buff strat. It is the one to go if you want to focus more on the big damage for a whole team. You can also consider the Link set with the new pieces as well, which still has outgain efficiency, but you do get treatment bonus instead of more will. This is a more survival slash healer oriented build that makes her heal better, which there are no wrong answer. I would say during harder stages you might want the healer set just to stay alive, or if you're a beast you stick to Zero Knight set and just don't die while nuking enemies. But for gears out the way, let's go to her teams now. I'll be covering 2 of her best teams, but honestly there won't be much of a combo guide rotation for this. I'll just show you what Liino plays like and you'll understand why. I'll first show you the new best electric team thanks to the addition of Liino, which involves Zhuang, Fangyi, Perlika, Arknight, and herself. You generally want to start with Liino's skill, then legitimately play the rest of it exactly like how you would play a Fangyi team. Once you get enough Thunder Blades, ult with Fangyi and ult with Liino, and boom, you have all the electric amps you need. All buffs are online with Liino, and you just play as if she's not even there now. You do have to pay attention to the duration of her ult stance, because as it ends, you want to use her skill stance again. Liino helps even more with the force electrification on her ultimate, because while Fangyi is able to consume electrification for more damage output on her skill. Once the whole rotation ends, you want to start with Liino's skill again, and click on her combo skill whenever available throughout the whole battle. She'll gain ult fairly quickly with her own combo skill because it does actually give herself more energy, and as long as you can make sure when Liino has her ultimate, use it when Fangyi's ult is being used as well, and if you can do that smoothly, you'll be good. You'll see your damage output going high, and this whole Fangyi team just works really smoothly, pretty much without any SP worries, because well, Liino doesn't cost that much. This makes Liino quite the easy character to be played. Now you might find some energy issues with rotations, which you can always just make sure to only use your ults once you have everyone's, or you can exchange some SP to have Liino get more energy by ending her stats early with her skill, then using the skill again. Now then, let's take a look at her next best team, which will involve Arcane. It features main DPS Arcane, Tang, Zaihe, and Liino. And well, it is the same exact thing. Use Liino's skill and start your rotation as normal. Use any combos from Liino if available at all times. Use her ult during your damage window with Arcane's ultimate and skills. Then when her ultimate ends, use her skill again. That way you keep your stances up and you just keep repeating. Liino's buff will be maximized. And again though, her best value will be from her ultimate's amp. So as long as you can fully enjoy its duration by putting all of your main DPS's damage into the duration of Liino's ult buffs, you're golden. The healing is automatic really, so you don't even have to pay too much attention. You have increased healing and reduced damage taken if you're within Liino's area of effect as well. And it just feels like Liino's designed so you don't have to pay too much attention to herself. So if you're a casual player just trying to have fun and kill enemies, Liino is a really good option. There are definitely ways to min-max Liino though, but you don't absolutely have to do that for her to work. And I do actually think the healing part of her kit really is the kicker to help any players in harder content in say contingency contract. Now then, to explore alternative teams. There's legitimately too many. Pretty much every team in the game, if you want to force it, Liino can be used. There are no characters in the game right now that completely hates attack percent buff, I don't think. And there are definitely no characters that wouldn't mind her healing, so if you want to use her as a general attack buffer slash healer, she can do that for any team, as long as you're not replacing an integral part of the team's engine. A few good examples she'd work in is just with say Aviwena. She's a really strong electric option, and it's probably going to be the best in slot for Aviwena. Any art's main DPS like say Levitate, Avant, Lash Ride can also work with Liino. Less optimal, but still it'll be workable with the general attack buff and electrification that increases art's damage. Plus again, the healing's always nice. I would say you probably don't want to use Liino with her physical teams, but if you still want to force it, she can be in there and just be your healer most of the time. Plus her damage taken reduction is also there. It allows your physical team to not die that easy, and still the attack buff is not completely useless either, I guess. So up to different degrees and different angles will Liino work for each and every single team, but you'll always have some sort of value with her. A very versatile option for everybody. Though overall, I recommend getting her if you're playing Fangyi or DPS Arcane especially. Those are the two teams that you'll see the most impact from Liino. I recommend getting Liino as well if you also do believe there'll be more electric and nature teams in the future that will want to use Liino, which chances are that will absolutely be the case in the next few versions, or maybe even if it takes longer, whichever next big main damage hitter from these two elements getting released will definitely want Liino. It's just too good for them. It makes her a pretty safe investment. Now to take a look at her potentials. She does not need any potentials to function already, but if you want to consider investing, I would prioritize her signature before her P1. Speaking of P1, it is an interesting SP return effect from the first casting of her battle skill, and also a nice 6% additional attack buff from all of her stances. It's good and it might smooth out SP usage for teams. It could also set up for interesting one-shots or nukes with a one-time SP return. It's not groundbreaking or absolutely required though for Liino to be good. The P3 is mainly a heal and damage multiplier increase for her combo skill, definitely not essential, so I wouldn't stop at P3 at all. Her P5 is the one that really makes her numbers climb, where she provides 1.2 times increase for her electric and nature amp, while getting 1.2 times increase for her damage multiplier on her skill and all. This actually makes her do even better damage even as a healer. Plus, well, the raw multiplier increase for the amps is just really strong and it really pushes the ceiling further. I do recommend whales that want to reach the absolute ceiling for teams to go for P5, but for general players, P0 signature is very strong already. And that will be all for today. Overall, I recommend literally anyone to pull Liino. She's not only the new ceiling for especially the Fangyi electric team, she's also an immensely strong arcane support and still quite versatile with her attack buff and strong healing. It is a safe investment that won't let you down, plus she even has strong future outlook anyway, but we're probably gonna see more electric and nature damage dealers and teams coming in, and Liino being a strong support for these two specific elements means she'll shine even more with more of the characters from these elements being released. I guess if you somehow just have zero arts team or zero electric and nature team, Liino might not be as good right now, but it'll be up to you. I do think she is a close must pull character where no one would complain about her value, and that'll be all for today's video. I'll have an all teams video out soon as well. Do drop a follow if it helped, and that'll be all. Take care.